edition of Wednesday Night Horsepower, sponsored by Optima Batteries. It all starts next with a full hour of World of Outlaws.
With less than 3 weeks, the World of Outlaws survived wall-to-wall action at 9 different tracks in 5 different states. As diverse as the locales, with the consequences and final results, with 8 different drivers raising their hands in glory. In North Carolina, there was Kevin Swindell becoming the youngest ever to win a World of Outlaws A-Main at age 17. There was a Victoria Super Sub, Dean Jacobs sitting in for the injured Terry McCarr. And a non-series regular, Fred Raymer, who held up the pride of the Pennsylvania posse. The swing through the East made for glorious memories for Craig Delansky, who took the checkers at Eldora. Delansky was one of 4 drivers to win their second race of the season, that list including Joey Saldana, Brooke Tacknell, and Jack Hottenshield. While different drivers were winning at different tracks in different states, it was Donnie Schatz continuing to reign atop the point standings, posting top 5 performances in 7 of 8 races, including 2 of his series-leading 5 wins. Tonight, from Eagle Raceway outside Lincoln, Nebraska, the World of Outlaws continues their wild escapade of diversity. Next, it's the greatest show on dirt, exclusively on the Outdoor Channel. From Eagle Raceway in Eagle, Nebraska, it's the World of Outlaws Racing Series. I'm Art Ekman, and welcome to the Eagle Nationals. Welcome, everyone, to the Eagle Nationals. I'm Art Ekman, along with Brad Doty. You know, Brad, they might have labeled it a preliminary feature for last night's race with less money, less points given, but by no means was there less excitement. Battles all over the track, back and forth. It was really a spine-tingling experience. 4 official lead changes, the last one the most exciting when Darren Pittman went under Donnie Schatz to gain his first feature win of the year.
Well, Darren started on the front row, and I actually talked to him before the main event about starting on the pole. Some guys get a little nervous because you feel like the pressure's on. You got to win it starting up front. But he said he would be happy just finishing in the top 4. He fell back to 3rd. That late race caution, he battled his way back, stole the win from Schatz on the last lap.
That was an amazing feat. Now, another guy in the hunt. It's been a year of firsts for Jeremy Campbell.
Well, again, Campbell started up front, fell all the way back to 5th position out of the top 4 transfer spot. Again, that late race caution, he got back by Brooke Tacknell and got locked in for the night. The first time ever for him to finish in the top 4 and be locked in.
Joey Saldana is coming off a victory at Terre Haute, and he holds the track record here set back in 2002. And then Paul McMahon incredibly equaled that mark the next year.
Well, what makes that so incredible is these guys, when they qualify, it's within 1/1000th of a second usually, and for them to get the exact same time is pretty incredible.
We'll see if anybody can match that mark or better it as qualifying is about set to begin. We'll be right back with the action on the track after this. The World of Outlaws on the Outdoor Channel is being brought to you by Optima Batteries, B&W Custom Truck Beds, Advance Auto Parts, Eckert Pharmacies, and by PartyPoker.com. He's had the quick time, and Brooke, I know there's a lot on your mind, but good ride.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've never been a sponsor plugger, but I got to plug the race outfitters Steel Dreams, Triple X car, and Donald Engines. I mean, we've had a bad run lately. You know, good runs have turned to nothing with some failures, but you know, car was awesome night. We found a few things. It's a new car since Eldora, so yeah, found a few things, and I think we got a car that's going to get the job done.
Well, I hope our hopes and prayers are certainly with you and your father.
Yeah, he's looking over us right now, and you know, he'll still kick me up the butt if I screw up, trust me.
Let's take a look at the starting grid for tonight's first qualifying heat. On the pole from Australia, Linton Jeffrey. Next to him is rookie Justin Henderson. It's Joey Saldana just coming off that win at Terre Haute, and Brooke Tacknell in row 2. Row 3, Kevin Swindell and Larry Pinniger. Row 4 finds James Mosier and Terry McCarr, who will be testing that broken leg only to the extent of gaining some driver qualifying points. Rounding out the field is Mark Bryce and Trevor Green. Only the top 4 get a transfer to the A-Main. We're ready for the first 10-lap heat. Here's the voice of the Outlaws, Johnny Gibson and Brad Doty for the race call.
Thanks, Art. We're ready to go with heat race number 1. Linton Jeffrey and Justin Henderson make their way out of turn number 4 and down to the green flag. Good jump for Linton Jeffrey to get the lead. Working the outside of the speedway, it's Justin Henderson, Joey Saldana down low in the third spot. Brooke Tatnell, your fast qualifier, in that fourth and final transfer position as they make their way into 3 and 4. Battle for the lead now heats up down the front straightaway, Brad.
Well, you talked to Henderson earlier tonight. When you interviewed him, he talked about the experience he had here a couple of years ago. See if that can pay off for him here in the heat race.
Justin Henderson, a regular competitor here in a 360 in 2004. 3 feature victories during that season. Right now, Linton Jeffrey leading it over Justin Henderson.
And Henderson talked about it in that interview, but about the car being too tight last night. They've loosened the car up, he said, for tonight. Hopefully they learned something from last night. Battle took Tatnell trying to get inside of Saldana.
Linton Jeffrey out in front, the Goodyear tires, number 12. A little bit of smoke out of the left side of the engine compartment there. Caught a quick glimpse of Brooke Tatnell running in that fourth and final transfer position.
Well, of course, Tatnell doing what he needed to do, getting quick time tonight. He was in a transfer spot last night and lost it to Jeremy Campbell, which would have put him fourth in the dash. Well, if he makes it through this heat race, he'll be fifth in the dash tonight.
Laps winding down here in heat race number 1. Here's the battle for the lead. Henderson to the inside of Linton Jeffrey, could not make the move. Jeffrey hanging on to that lead spot with Henderson trying to work the low side of the speedway. Joey Saldana still in third. Brooke Tatnell in that fourth and final transfer spot with Kevin Swindell moving in on him. There's the battle for the transfer position. Swindell 4 wheels up over the cushion out of turn number 2.
I am kind of surprised. The racetrack looked like there was a lot more moisture in it. Look at this.
Kevin Swindell to the inside of Brooke Tatnell. That's the race for the transfer spot. They touch going into turn number 1. Tatnell up high. Kevin Swindell down low. Tatnell able to hang on through turn number 2.
Well, it looks like Tatnell must have heard him or saw him and shut the door on him down the front straightaway. But I was talking about the racetrack, especially down here in turns 1 and 2. Right there, really slick already through the middle. You can see the car sliding up.
Kevin Swindell got a piece of the inside berm as he worked his way into turn number 1. Cost him a little bit. White flag waving. 1 more lap to go here in heat race number 1. Justin Henderson still within striking distance, but Linton Jeffrey making his way into 3 and 4 for the final time. Henderson's going to give it one last shot. Picking up the win, it'll be Linton Jeffrey in car number 12. Brooke Tatnell hangs on for that final transfer spot as Kevin Swindell gave it a last effort as well.
Okay, Johnny, on the Optima Batteries results page, Linton Jeffrey, the young man from down under who is doing well this year at the Knoxville Raceway Series, takes the heat with Justin Henderson, Joey Saldana, and Brooke Tatnell joining him in the A main. Kevin Swindell and others will have one more shot at making the feature event. They're on their way to the B main. Let's see what Linton has to say.
I felt really comfortable out there. My friend Terry McCall, he begged me at lunchtime today to drive up from Prairie City, and he's helping us out tonight with some tires and things. And
on the track, ready for the second heat, is Kerry Matson, another Aussie on the pole. Kerry, similar to Jeffrey, has also been racing weekly at Knoxville. Also on the front row is Branson Mason. And then it's Billy Alley and Sammy Swindell. Row 3 has Logan and Johnson. Then it's Powers, Dover, and Lovegrove completing the field. Let's go racing.
Heat race number 2, ready to go green. Kerry Matson off the pole position, gets the jump. Bronson Mason, rookie in 410 competition in 2006, running in the second spot. Now watching Sammy Swindell go to the outside of Billy Alley. They nearly get together out of turn number 2 while fighting for third. Trying to take advantage of it on the inside of the speedway is the number 10 car of Wayne Johnson.
And he does get by Alley as they go through 3 and 4. Sammy Swindell in the start, picking the left front up on that car. Looked like that race car was tight at the start, but it makes away. Now he's battling for the second position in turns 3.
Out of turn 3 and now down through turn 4 in the front straightaway. Kerry Matson leading it. Bronson Mason running in the second spot. Sammy Swindell in third. Right now it's Wayne Johnson in the fourth and final transfer spot behind him. Oh, trouble in turn number 4. Mason spins. Caution flag waving. Close call there, Brad.
That was very close. Everybody doing a great job. No contact made. Looks like Mason probably can restart.
Kerry Matson pacing the field back to green flag action. Jumps on the throttle out of turn number 4, and we are back underway. The 2005 Knoxville Raceway champion leads the field into 1 and 2. Now a race for the transfer spot. It's the 5J of Ricky Logan all over the 17G of Billy Alley as they race into turn 3 and 4.
Boy, Matson brought him down really slow in the start, but it paid off. He got a good bite up off the moisture off turn 4 for the start and pulled away from Sammy.
There's the battle for the transfer spot again. Logan unable to make the pass of the Minuteman copy and printing 17G of Billy Alley. Alley, a former champion here at the Eagle Raceway in 360 competition a couple of years back. Got his career started right here at this high bank 1/3 mile oval, trying to hold off Ricky Logan for that final transfer spot.
And it looks like since he's got the momentum, got back racing here, he's pulled away a little bit. Matson, you're talking about last night was in a transfer spot. You want to call it luck or fate or whatever. Darren Pittman was not in a transfer spot when Matson blew his engine up. Of course, Pittman was going to be in the B main, put him in the dash. The rest is history. Pulled off an A main last night, but Matson really fast right now. Obviously, a different engine in that car.
Matson works the cushion through turns 3 and 4. This time by, he will have 8 laps complete and 2 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Billy Alley still holding off Ricky Logan for that 4th and final transfer spot as he works the cushion through 1 and 2.
One thing Matson did when they blew up last night, they did stay here and watch the entire race. I'm sure he was watching the racetrack, watching tires, that kind of thing, and maybe learned something by watching everybody else last night.
About to watch a checkered flag fall here in heat race number 2. It's Kerry Matson picking up the win over Sammy Swindell.
Thanks, Johnny. The Optima Batteries results page has Kerry Matson looking forward to moving on to the A main. Sammy Swindell, Wayne Johnson, and Billy Alley also get the other transfer spots.
We just, we've been having a rough time qualifying. We missed the show last night because we blew a motor, and, we got her in the show and see what we can do in the feature.
The year's top rookie, Chad Kavanaugh, and others, when we return with heats 3 and 4. Stay with us. Welcome back to Eagle Raceway outside Lincoln, Nebraska, where the World of Outlaws is getting ready for their 3rd qualifying heat race. Dion Hindy starts from the pole with Gary Wright next to him on the front row. Then it's Mark Dobmeyer and Jack Hottenshield in row 2. Row 3 has Skip Jackson and Becca Anderson. Row 4, it's Mike Chad and Bill Rose. And then Gene Ackland, the lone driver, in row 5. Up to the booth for Johnny and Brad.
Heat race number 3, ready to go green. Dion Hindy on the pole, leads the field down the front straightaway. Racing into turn number 1. There on the low side of the speedway, the wild child Jack Hottenshield side by side with Gary Wright. Now Wright trying to make a move around the 13 of Mark Dobmeyer. That's the race for second, right behind the RealTruck.com number 11D of Dion Hindy.
Dobmeyer fighting right back. Gary Wright tried to roll up around the cushion on the start from the outside front row, and it really cost him. He lost a spot getting into turn 1. Now he's battling to try to get it back.
It's Dion Hindy out in front, Mark Dobmeyer in the 2nd spot, Gary Wright 3rd, Jack Hottenshield in the 4th spot. Now Hottenshield with a slide job around Gary Wright, but got too loose there on the cushion, and that allows Wright to drive back underneath him.
Just about lost it there, did Hottenshield. About spun the car out, had to get clear out of the throttle and wait to lean on that cushion.
And that opens up the door for Skip Jackson, the former Knoxville Raceway champion in the McCroskey Chevrolet car number 2. Jackson trying to steal his way into the feature event.
Hottenshield with 3rd quick time tonight. That they admittedly haven't been qualifying well recently, so to have a 3rd quick time, pretty good for them. Right now, the car looks like he's struggling a little bit. He looks like he's loose, but he runs up on the cushion there. He's a little bit tight.
Jack Hottenshield still holding on to the transfer spot as Dion Hindy crosses the line with 5 laps down and 5 to go here in heat race number 3.
And the racetrack the way it is, you can see it right there as Hindy goes in. If you miss that cushion a little bit, it's going to hang the back of the car out. Driver has to be real careful because if you miss it, you can spin the car out. If you don't get on the throttle really hard right there, you want to fly the front end. Dion looks like he's doing a good job right now.
Dion Hindy leading it by 1.6 seconds over 2nd place running Mark Dobmeyer. The completion of lap number 7, 3 circuits to go. Hindy up on that high side through 1 and 2, muscles the car down the back straightaway.
And he has been, that whole team picking up their program with the last few weeks. Really a lot of improvement for Dion Hindy and their whole team.
Hindy wakes his way into turns 1 and 2. Behind him, it's Mark Dobmeyer still in the 2nd spot. There's Jack Hottenshield still in that 4th and final transfer position. This time by the white flag will wave 1 more lap to go.
Good run for Dobmeyer to be running 2nd in this heat race.
Dobmeyer, the former champion with the Northern Outlaw Sprint Association. Dion Hindy makes his way into 3 and 4 for the final lap. Got a little loose there in turn number 2. Through the traffic and down to the checkered flag. Neon Dion, the winner of heat race number 3.
A look at the official finish of the Optima Batteries results page. Hindy, Dobmeyer, Wright, and Hottenshield make their way to the A main. Becca Anderson and the rest of the crews headed to the last chance B main. Dion Hindy making it look like it was just a run in the park right there, and but the track is progressing.
It is. It's moving way up the racetrack, and I didn't really try the bottom, so I don't know if it's there, but it seems a little slick right through the middle, but. Right now, it seems like the top's the only place to run.
For the final 10-lap heat race, it's Jason Martin on the front row with Chad Kavanaugh. Row 2 finds Brian Carlson and Randy Hannigan. Then it's Jim Cameron and Ryan Anderson. Dusty Zomer and Kim Kennedy and Dwayne Olson completing the field. Up to the booth we go. Take it away, Johnny.
Thank you, Art Ekman. We are ready for the start of heat race number 4. Jason Martin, a Rookie of the Year contender, getting the jump out of turn number 4. The leading rookie candidate right behind him, Chad Kavanaugh. They work their way into turns 1 and 2. It's Randy Hannigan trying to steal the 3rd spot away from Brian Carlson. Hannigan right now in that final transfer position with Jim Cameron behind him.
So Carlson trying the middle of the racetrack, but to start, you could see Jason Martin off the bottom. There's some moisture down there. It's a big advantage on the start.
Hannigan tried to pull off the slide job for the third spot in turn number 2, but just not enough room to make it happen. Jason Martin, the hitman in the NOS Energy Drink car number 36, bouncing his way through turns 1 and 2, holding the lead down the back straightaway.
Martin having some bad luck since he's gotten back in this car after his injury. It seems like just things haven't been going their way. Spun last night, collected some cars, and tore the race car up. Right now, just sliding up under the cushion, just nipping at it out of turn 2.
Down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4. Randy Hannigan still in that final transfer position. The 1995 World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year was 4th fastest in qualifying this evening. He's looking for a decent starting spot in the dash if he can hang on to a top 4.
And Brian Carlson right in front of him, running 3rd, and a transfer was 5th quick. A good run for Brian qualifying tonight.
Carlson, of course, former pole sitter at the King's Royal a few years back. Now trying to hold on to the 3rd spot here in heat race number 4 at the Eagle Nationals, 1/3 mile high banked oval Eagle Raceway, beautiful racing facility just to the east of Lincoln, Nebraska.
This is a beautiful little short track, high banks. Talk to almost any race car driver that runs a sprint car, they love this place.
Hannigan now trying to work his way through the lap traffic, closing in on Superior, Wisconsin's Dwayne Olson, puts him a lap down as he enters turn number 3. 6 laps complete here in heat race number 4, 4 circuits remaining. Jim Cameron still on the outside looking in, running in that 5th position, but he's about a half a straightaway behind Randy Hannigan. Jason Martin out in front of this one by a good measure. His lead over Chad Kemenot just over 2 seconds.
Talk about the drivers that like this place, but it'll wear you out, Johnny. It's so short and small, and the high banks, there's really no time to rest. I mean, you're up on the steering wheel every lap.
Jason Martin works the cushion out of turn number 2. Randy Hannigan still in the final transfer spot. This is the final lap. Leader into turn number 3, and now to the checkered flag. Jason Martin victorious in heat race number 4.
So it's Jason Martin who had to sit out more than 2 months with a preseason injury, getting up to speed and assuring himself a spot on the A-main grid. Kemenot, Carlson, and Hannigan get the transfer spots as well, leaving some good talent headed toward the B-main.
I'm good that we finally got things going in the right direction, and thanks to my guys, they really got this race car going good. I kind of screwed up last night and ran over the Billy Alley, but hey, we'll take it. We'll just keep going, get better.
Just around the corner, we'll get our first look at the top 4 from last night's preliminary feature. Pittman, Delansky, Schatz, and Campbell. But first, let's take a break. We'll be right back to Eagle Raceway in a moment. The top 4 finishers from last night's preliminary feature in a 10-lap dash. It determines who starts where in the first 5 rows of tonight's A-main. On the pole after winning his first feature of the season last night is Darren Pittman. Next to him, the points leader for the season, Donnie Schatz. In row 2, Craig Delansky and rookie Jeremy Campbell. Row 3, tonight's top qualifier with a speed of better than 104 miles per hour, Brooke Tatnall. And the World of Outlaws' second winningest driver, Sammy Swindell. Jack Hottenshield and Randy Hannigan are in row 4, and Brian Carlson joins Mark Doubtfire of Grand Forks, North Dakota in row 5. Let the dash begin, Johnny.
We go green on the snap-on dash to determine the top 10 starting spots in the main event, and Darren Pittman, picking up where he left off last night, jumps out in front of the field, Brad.
Again on the start, the bottom of the racetrack, a lot of moisture down there. Can Darren hold him off? It's his wife Mandy's birthday today. He said he'd really like to win tonight for her birthday. Meanwhile, Delansky moves into second.
Donnie Schatz running in the 3rd spot, scrambling for positions further back in the pack. Brooke Tatnall and Randy Hannigan going at it. They race for position out of turn number 2.
Last night, Schatz had kind of a new, well, it's not experimental, but a new Hoosier tire on that he felt like might have cost him the race. It was really fast early, but the caution that the tire cooled off and it really slowed down. So it'll be interesting to see what he runs in tonight's main event.
Watching Mark Dobmeyer work his way through the top side of turns 3 and 4. He currently runs in the 8th position. Darren Pittman out in front of this one big time in the Titan Garages and Carports, car number 21, leading it over Craig Delansky by half a straightaway.
Also a new Maxim chassis for Darren Pittman. So talked about it last night with them early, and they said, well, let's see how we do with it. And so far, this car is really working well. Whatever changes they've made to the chassis,
Sammy Swindell, sorry, Brad, trying the low side in 3 and 4 that time by, trying to gain some ground on the car directly in front of him. It's Jeremy Campbell. Swindell right now in the 5th position with Jack Hottenshield in 6th. Darren Pittman with no problems out in front of the field in this one. Again, a half a straightaway advantage.
Talked about Sammy moving down and really had no choice. That's what he should do, is move around on the racetrack. Banging the cushion right there.
Sammy Swindell trying to find a way to move forward with 1 lap to go in the dash. The snap-on dash with Darren Pittman out in front down the back straightaway, looking for the pole position in the Eagle Nationals A feature. He gets the job done with the flag-to-flag win.
The order of finish is how they'll line up for the first 5 rows of tonight's A main. Capturing his 4th pole of the season, Darren Pittman. Craig Delansky will be next to the Titan Garage's entry on that front row. Taking 3rd in the dash was Donnie Schatz. Jeremy Campbell will have a good spot on the grid in 4th. Then the Optima Batteries results page has Swindell, Hottenshield, Tapnell, Doppmeyer, Hannigan, and Carlson.
Darren picking it up right where you left off. Your 2nd pole of the season. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's where you want to start. You used to want to start on the outside here, but I think the inside is going to be the place to be. And racetrack's going to be fast. I mean, that top is not going to go away like last night, and you ain't going to see anybody putting around the bottom. And lap traffic is going to be a big key here tonight. So we got to have a good car and make good choices in traffic and try to keep out in front.
The Snorkel Hood Scoop. It's on its last legs, according to our professor of Outlaws technology, Brad Doty. Brad's Tech Tip is brought to you by Optima Batteries.
We're not seeing as many of the snorkel hoods on this year's sprint cars as we have in past years. When I say snorkel hood, when you look at the sprint car, it had a huge opening up above the nose wing that forced a lot of air into the engine. Well, the more air you can force through one of these engines, the more horsepower it's going to make. The World of Outlaws unfortunately race on all dirt racetracks, and a lot of that air getting inside the engine had a lot of dirt and a lot of grit in it that was wearing out the inside of the engine. It wore out things like valve guides, piston rings, and cylinder walls. Some of the teams have elected to put that scoop down a little lower, not sucking in quite as much dirt. They feared that the horsepower gain wasn't worth losing the longevity of the engine, so therefore we see a lot of variations of that hood design this year.
It's the last chance to qualify for tonight's A-Main. 19 teams will be gunning for only 4 open spots in the starting grid. We'll be right back with that action.
With Herculiner, it's easy to roll on a truck bedlam.
Might not go to work. I'm just going to keep driving.
Welcome back to Eagle Raceway in the world of Outlaws. We're looking for 10 laps of intense action here for the B-Main, the last chance qualifier. On the pole will be Branson Nation. On the outside front row is Kevin Swindell. It's Ricky Logan and Skip Jackson to row 2. Row 3, Cameron and Pinniger. Row 4, the Andersons, no relation. It's Mosier and Powers in row 5, then Chad and Zomer, Dover and Rose, Kennedy and Pace, Lovegrove and Ackland, with Wayne Olson rounding out the field. Here's Johnny and Brad with the race call.
Green flag is waving on the B-Main out of turn number 4. It is Kevin Swindell jumping out to the lead as everybody scrambles for position down the front straightaway.
We got a spin in turn 2, but they had a car hit the wall.
Oh, trouble. Ryan Anderson gets together with the 96 of Bronson Mason, also collects the 14G of Gene Ackland, and we are under yellow flag conditions. Thanks, Art. Ricky Logan, your new pole sitter after the accident, shuffles the lineup. Alongside of him, Kevin Swindell. The green flag waves on the World of Outlaws B-Main. Logan gets a good jump. Swindell stays right with him as they make their way into 1 and 2. Logan on the low side now slides up in front of Kevin Swindell in the battle for the lead. Everybody else trying to scramble for positions. Close call there between Becca Anderson and Larry Pinniger.
Well, Anderson was scheduled to start 7th because of the Mason spin. She found herself up in 5th, a little closer to the front, still struggling maybe outside of a transfer spot right now. Meanwhile, Ricky Logan doing a good job. Oh, boy. Becca Anderson.
Very close call between Dusty Zomer and Becca Anderson as they battle for position out of turn number 2. Right now, Zomer occupies the 6th spot. The race for the lead now. Kevin Swindell, a slide job around the 5J of Ricky Logan and put the Bulldog out in front of the B-Main.
Kevin had a good run down the front straightaway, tucked in behind him and did what he had to do. Drove to the bottom, slid up in front of him, banged back on the cushion. Now driving away.
It's Kevin Swindell leading it by a full second over second place running Ricky Logan. Skip Jackson in the 3rd spot. Whoa, very close call there for Kevin Swindell. Got that car real sideways over the cushion in turn number 4.
Wow, talked about it earlier, how it's a fine line on the slick part, and you go up and you bang the cushion, can fly the front end. It looks like maybe he was on the throttle, think he was going to bang it too hard, about spun the car out.
Kevin Swindell hanging on to the top spot and hanging on to a lead of 1.2 seconds over second place running Ricky Logan. Skip Jackson in 3rd, and now the race for the transfer spot. Contact there. Jim Cameron gets wheeled by Larry Pinniger, and Cameron is upside down in turn number 2.
Okay, now watch right here. This is where, in slow motion, Pinniger looked really bad. Right there, he's completely clear of Cameron. Thinks he's got him clear. He's sliding up to the cushion. Some would argue that Cameron could have gotten out of the throttle because he run up over his right rear tire. When you see it in slow motion like this, it doesn't look as bad as it did on Pinniger's part when it was, full speed. It looked like he just went up there and slammed into Cameron. Again, these guys with no rear view mirrors, he thought he had him cleared, sliding up to take the groove, and they just made contact.
17-year-old Kevin Swindell leading the field back down to the green flag in the B main. 7 laps remaining in this one. Right now, it's Larry Pinniger still in that 4th and final transfer spot. A couple of drivers going side by side behind him, Dusty Zomer and Becca Anderson, as the Bulldog continues to show the way in the York Excavating car number 1.
Kevin Swindell right there, you see it started off on the bottom like he should on the restart off of turn 4, but drove right back to the cushion where he was running before the caution came out.
Got a quick shot of Dusty Zomer right there in the 1Z car. That is the driver running in 5th, trying to reel in Larry Pinniger in the Phillips Floors car number 7W. Pinniger holds that final transfer spot with Zomer right behind him. Zomer, another good young driver out of the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area.
Boy, and you can really see the racetrack shining off now, Johnny. Look, a lot of shine to it. Really slick, no rubber down right now. It's just a glazed over where it's very hard to get a hold of.
Kevin Swindell turning lap times in the low 13-second bracket here in the B main. We saw the qualifying times down in the upper 11-second brackets, so track has slowed down about a second and a half.
But we know that speed doesn't always make good racing. They slow the race cars down with the racetrack slowing down a little bit. Especially on a slick high bank like this, you're going to see a lot of slide jobs, a lot of close action in this 40-lap A main.
Kevin Swindell close to a B main victory right now. He'll come around to look at the white flag. It's still Larry Pinniger holding on to that 4th and final transfer spot. He rides the cushion out of turn number 2. White flag waving for your race leader, Kevin Swindell, in traffic on the final circuit, works the cushion through turns 1 and 2. He'll head down the back straightaway. Dusty Zomer trying desperately to catch up with Pinniger for the final transfer spot. It's Kevin Swindell claiming the B main win at the Eagle Raceway.
Kevin Swindell recovers just in time out of turn 4 and wins the B main. And once again, the father-son duo of Sammy and Kevin will be on the same starting grid. Ricky Logan, Skip Jackson, and Larry Pinniger take the final 4 transfer spots. It's pack up the haulers for the other 14 teams and wait till next week.
Weren't too bad. Trying a little hard there and just trying some different things and about screwed up. But got behind the 8 ball a little bit and lost the mag in hot laps, and it stuck us way back here. So I guess we'll have to get us a little better and work our way through this race.
Darren Pittman now is hoping for 2 wins in a row. Craig Delansky's counting on keeping his string of top 3 finishes alive. When we return, it's 40 laps for the big money and the World of Outlaws glory. Stay. It's preliminary feature winner looking for a sweep on the weekend from the Mean 15, Darren Pittman. On the outside front row, he took top honors at Eldora last weekend from the Mean 15, Craig Delansky. In the second row, the series points leader from the Mean 15 and a top Rookie of the Year Mean 15 candidate, Donnie Schatz and Jeremy Campbell. In row 3, Sammy Swindell, and from the Mean 15, Jack Hottenshield. Row 4 has Mean 15er Brooke Tapnell, and alongside Tapnell is Mark Dobmeyer. 2 from the Mean 15 in row 5, Randy Hannigan and Brian Carlson. Row 6, Billy Alley. Alley is joined by Mean 15's Joey Saldana. From the Mean 15, third in the rookie points, Justin Henderson. Next to Henderson is Gary Wright. 2 Mean 15ers, Chad Kemena and Jason Martin. From the Mean 15, Dion Hindy. Joining Hindy is Kerry Matson. Then it's Jeffrey and Kevin Swindell, Logan and Jackson, Pinniger and Johnson. 40 laps of pure World of Outlaws excitement coming your way. Here's Johnny and Brad.
We are set to go. Green flag racing in the A main. Darren Pittman leads the field out of turn number 4.
When that shot down the front straightaway showed the shine on the racetrack, as you see shots go to the inside of Delansky.
Donnie Schatz tried to make the slide job work in the race for the second spot. Delansky comes back at him on the inside, but the caution flag is waving. We've got trouble over in turn number 2. It's Kevin Swindell. Also involved the 5J of Ricky Logan. Logan coming to a stop on the inside of the back straightaway. Pace quickens as Pittman and Delansky lead the field out of turn number 4 and down to green flag racing once again. Everybody scrambles down the front straightaway for position into turns 1 and 2, and it is Craig Delansky taking the lead, but we've got trouble on the front straightaway. Kerry Matson involved, as is Skip Jackson. A couple of the Australians who have been champions at the Knoxville Raceway tangle on the front straightaway. Damage to the front end of the TK Concrete 55 for Matson.
Looks like heavy damage on Matson's car from here.
Ready for the restart once again. Pittman and Delansky side by side out of turn number 4. Good start by Darren Pittman this time. Delansky cuts to the inside to try to take the lead, and he'll make the slide job work as they enter turn number 2.
Oh, a couple cars, but looks like Sammy
Swindell and Donnie Schatz nearly getting together there as they race for the 3rd spot. Now nearly 3 wide out of turn number 4, and now the battle for the lead heats up as Pittman tries to get to the inside of Delansky once again.
Well, Darren, you can see it there. Didn't quite have him cleared enough, or didn't think he did, to put the slide job on. He got stuck on the bottom of the racetrack. Delansky powered back by on the top.
Craig Delansky completes lap number 2 as the leader, with Darren Pittman running in the 2nd spot. Donnie Schatz 3rd, then Sammy Swindell 4th, Jack Hodenshield 5th, and Jeremy Campbell 6th. Those 3 drivers racing for position, and Brooke Tatnell trying to get a piece of it as well.
Well, you can see it there. Hodenshield sliding, banging the cushion, got up over it a little bit. Now he goes back underneath the Campbell, and Campbell had no choice but to lift the throttle just for a second.
Track a little slick getting off the corners, but seeing some awesome slide jobs as they work their way through the turns. Right now, Jack Hodenshield holding on to that 5th spot with Jeremy Campbell just outside the top 5 in 6th. Then behind them, Brooke Tatnell and Joey Saldana getting it on down the front straightaway. Saldana goes to the bottom in 1 and 2, trying to work the very low line around the racetrack. Tatnell has the momentum up on the cushion.
Oh, and leader, Delansky tags the wall on the front straightaway.
Craig Delansky got into the wall, now bicycles it on the cushion in turn number 2. Darren Pittman right there behind him, just less than half a second separating the top 2 as they work their way into 3 and 4 and already begin to see lap traffic with 6 laps down.
Have to wonder if Delansky, if it might have pulled the right front back. He hit it with the rear tire and it pulled the front end in.
Delansky picks the front end up off the ground as he slides up to the cushion to put Skip Jackson a lap down. Caution flag waving on the speedway. We've got problems over in turn number 1, and it is Sammy Swindell who has come to a stop in the big game tree stands, car number 24.
During this break in the action, we've got a frustrating sight back here. Car owner relaxing, but it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, we had a great car out there. Sammy was going really good. There must be some on a racetrack cutting some tires down. But, yeah, it's tough watching your car. It's pretty tough sitting home listening to Johnny and Brad on the internet, and it's tougher here watching it in person. You
did try it last night. You came back to qualify tonight. So do you have a prognostication?
Well, they're saying 6 to 8 weeks, and last night was 2 weeks since my surgery. But I'm just trying to, keep a feel for the car going. I didn't plan on racing, and Mark Birch was nice enough to let me time trial his car. But can't push on the brake. For these short tracks, you need to run the brake real hard, and I'm not quite there yet. But they say 6 to 8. I say 3 to 4.
We're under yellow at Eagle Raceway. We'll be back in a moment.
Feature event. Into turns 1 and 2. Donnie Schatz to the low side, going to try the slide job on Darren Pittman, but Pittman has the momentum to hang on to the 2nd spot. And now up to challenge Jack Hodenshield works the low side. Schatz stays down on the bottom of the speedway. Pittman hangs on to 2nd. Schatz, then Hodenshield and Tatnell.
Well, you can see what happened there. Schatz tried the bottom. It slowed him up enough. Left Hodenshield get to him. Hodenshield tried the bottom going into 3, and it slowed him up and let Brooke Tatnell get on the back bumper of him.
Tatnell works the cushion, as does Hodenshield. Schatz again tries the low line. A little bump of the wall by Jack Hodenshield out of turn number 4.
Oh, Hodenshield has a flat right rear tire going into turn 1.
Jack Hodenshield, a flat right rear tire. We saw him bump the wall coming out of turn number 4, and the caution flag waves.
Obviously, that's what cut that tire down. We saw it happen and rolled into turn number 1 with a flat right rear tire.
Craig Delansky hoping to hang on for another 32 laps here at the Eagle Raceway. He leads the field back to green with Darren Pittman right behind him. Pittman tries the slide job in 1 and 2, and now Darren Pittman will take the lead out of turn number 2.
Pittman was able to stay with him down to start, Johnny. That's how that happened. He stayed right on his back bumper, dove to the bottom, easily put a slide job on him. Now,
Schatz to the inside out of turn number 4. Donnie Schatz and Craig Delansky side by side for the 2nd spot. Slide jobs galore here. Delansky back out in front of the Parker Stores 15. Brooke Tatnell right there in behind him.
Going to see a lot of that because the high groove is so far around. The bottom's slick enough they can slide right up and take the line. The guy has no choice but to get out of the throttle.
And Brooke Tatnell tries it on Donnie Schatz and now move Tatnell up to 3rd in the Race Outfitters car number 8. Brooke Tatnell, a nice move in turns 1 and 2, slides up in front of Donnie Schatz. He'll take over 3rd. Right now it is Darren Pittman leading it over Craig Delansky.